What's up? Today we're going to be discussing the real-world depreciation that early adopters, Foundation Series Cybertruck owners have faced. It's been about a year since we picked up this Foundation Series dual motor Cybertruck. And so how much did it depreciate? What is the market looking like? Are we going to continue to see severe declines, or did this Cybertruck hold its value, and was it actually a good financial decision? Today we're going to discuss that, and what's going to be fun too, we're going to try using the full self-driving so you guys can check that out, and we'll see how well it does. It may not do great, but let's start that. Let's see if it goes. I'm going to set it up. It should, once we put it in forward, be able to begin our driving. I think we may have to press this first. Okay, we're hands off the throttle, the pedals and everything. We're going to see what it can do. I'm going to keep an eye on it. But yeah, so if you are one of the early adopters for these dual motor Foundation Series Cybertruck, you're looking to spend about $108,000 after, taxes, fees, etc. I believe the actual price from Tesla was $100, but we're looking at about $108. I'm always nervous on these cross traffic turns. There we go. Let's see what it does here. Oh, that's tight. Are you gonna go for that? Oh man, it's a risky. It's a risk taker. That was pretty tight with that car, and it did it. Sorry. Still bit of a risk taker. Okay, we're good. We're onto the road. So yeah, talking about that, let's make sure we turn that wiper off. You're looking to shell out $108,000. And so what is the current market looking like? Say we take it to a dealer and try to get trade-in value, what are we gonna get? And say we sold it private, what are we gonna get? So for today, earlier before I made this video, I tried to do a bit of research for specifically the dual motor Foundation Series. So you're starting off with $108 entry price, and right now, it's not looking great. Current market, where I am, the average for about 20,000 miles on the vehicle, you're looking at an asking price from a dealer, which, they have markup, they need to make money. They're asking around $72,000 to $76,000. So you're looking at, over a $25,000, $30,000 loss if you could sell it for what a dealer is going to sell it for. And unfortunately, you're probably not gonna be able to do that because they might not even be able to do it. So as a private individual, say you take it in, you want to trade it for another vehicle. I was saying that most likely on trade, you're gonna get like 65, 66. So you're looking at over a $40,000 loss in less than a year on the Foundation Series dual motor Cybertruck. And it kind of begs the question, are we going to see in the next year or two, say 2 years down the road, is this going to be like a sub $40,000 valued vehicle? Tesla is kind of notorious for not necessarily hurting. Look at this, it's trying to change lanes. It forced the car, that's unfortunate, I feel bad for that guy. It forced its way into this right lane when it really shouldn't have done that. Cut that guy off, actually. And we're not supposed to turn on red up here, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't want it to accidentally turn. Let's see what it does. Going to have my foot over the brake just in case it tries to turn. Okay, it's holding brake. So yeah, for this dual motor Foundation, it's trying to turn. So right there, it tried to do an illegal thing because it's a no turn on red at this intersection. And if I wouldn't have intervened, it would have turned. So it's definitely not perfect right now. We're going to try to re-engage Autopilot in a second. Wondering, is this type of depreciation across the board? And what I was typically seeing was about 20 to 25% depreciation on new vehicles in a year. So unfortunately, this Cybertruck is reaching, in excess of like 30, 35% depreciation in a year. Definitely not a great investment at all. Let's see, I'm gonna try to get Autopilot back online. Let me see if I can get us in the right lane. Okay, we're back on Autopilot. So yeah, where are we gonna see the values of these Cybertrucks in the future? And I think it's just kind of like a warning to potential Tesla adopters, especially for new products. If you're trying to make a wise financial decision, being the early adopter, it's super cool. You know, it was really cool when we were like the first ones on the road, seeing all the excitement. But is it worth, you know, that $40,000 hit on your investment? I don't know, and I don't think you should call the Cybertruck an investment. That's probably poor wording. It's quite a bit of depreciation, and what's really crazy is that some of the early adopters didn't even get to pay, you know, MSRP asking. You had people spending $200, $250. I'm sure people were even paying like $300 for some of these Cybertrucks. So it's like, imagine being left with a vehicle maybe worth, you know, 70,000, and you put in 300. That's quite a hit, quite scary. Going from 108, you know, to trade in at 65 is already insane. You know, that's a lot of people's annual salary just gone in a year on one vehicle. Something quite astonishing. I took that turn really well. We're on some curvy, more back road type. I want to make sure it doesn't cut the double yellow. We got some traffic. Kind of cut it there. That wasn't good. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, we're pretty straight though right now. Holding the speed limit, not bad. Not bad at all. But it's just interesting to think about, like the first Model S's, those generation, you can pick those up for like sometimes under $10,000. So are we going to see, you know, a decade into the future, like a bunch of these early Cybertrucks just for like $8,000 or $10,000? I think that would be crazy. Just seeing some people, you know, maybe in the lower income or near poverty line of income per year driving around in a Cybertruck. And currently it looks like Tesla's offering a model that they released recently that I believe starts in basically mid-60s, but I think it lacks a lot of the features. I don't believe you get full self-driving. I think that's an add-on. I believe that I think it has one motor instead of two, and then the Cyber Beast, of course, has three. It'll be interesting if we see a Cybertruck get released with four motors. That would be pretty crazy. But from a value perspective, unfortunately, the Cybertruck is, I think, one of the bottom tier vehicles you could purchase if you're trying to retain value in your vehicle. It's definitely a great vehicle. It's an amazing daily. However, you're just taking that huge financial hit. And after a year, it just really had me thinking, you know, how bad was the depreciation? Ooh, it's a little crazy. It's kind of like a teenager driving this thing. It's got a heavy foot, and it took us to our destination though, so that's good. Still driving. Let's see what it does here. But yeah, guys, on Tesla's website, you can see that this base model is starting out at $62,490, but that's, you know, after the federal tax credits. You're really looking at, you know, $70,000 actually for that particular model. But so it's going to be interesting to see what these values do. It'll be exciting. Hopefully we still have this Cybertruck a year from now. I'm curious if we're going to continue to have that same sort of decline in value over the next year. It's already been quite substantial. And are we going to see a further, you know, sinking rate like that? But I also wanted to show you guys the Autopilot, you know, self-driving settings. So basically all you do is you click your little guy right there, Autopilot, and then what that gives you access to is, let me try to show this to you guys. Two different Autopilot modes. You have that full self-driving ability, but you can also have this traffic-aware cruise control, which is, you know, probably less intrusive and, you know, less capable than FSD. Yeah, but what's really interesting about the FSD is if you have this strikeout, which basically refers to, you know, say you're looking at your phone or you're completely distracted and you're not engaged at all, it counts that as one strikeout. So if you have 5 of those due to, you know, being improperly using FSD, it'll no longer operate. So we've gotten warnings before, but I don't believe we've had any of the strikeouts. And, you know, I've looked down at my phone for quite a while to see how long it takes to trigger into that warning setting. But luckily, I guess no full strikeouts. That would be terrible. Imagine, you know, I wonder how Tesla works that out. Say if someone paid the thousands of dollars for full self-driving and then you get 5 strikeouts and you lose it. That'd be crazy if you're out on all that money and no longer had that feature. But what's also cool, I think they do, is you can have it do like a chill self-driving, so it's just going to, accelerate less aggressively, probably drive slower, all that type of thing. But you even have a hurry one, which that one's crazy. Sometimes I'm surprised it's even legal, because sometimes it just makes decisions that are like, I would have never made that decision. It'll do a really aggressive lane change, it'll cut people off. It's truly a robot with no emotions and doesn't care about the other drivers on the road. And then also you have a max speed offset, so you can set that to how much over the speed limit it's willing to go. Expanded, I've never clicked this. Let's check this out. Expanded full self-drive visualization. Huh. I'm assuming that makes it a little bit safer by being able to see more with its sensors and cameras. You can do speed limit warning. You can do, an absolute speed limit, so it, basically prevents you from getting tickets during full self-driving. Right now, it'll speed. It'll definitely break the speed limit. And then you can do these forward collision warnings, lane departure. A lot of cars have that. But yeah, I always thought that was quite funny. The chill, standard, and hurry. But yeah, guys, I hope that was informative. If you're thinking about buying a Cybertruck, or say you were one of the early adopters, let me know if you happen to trade or sell, what type of depreciation you were seeing in the real world. It's definitely not good, quite unfortunate. I hope you guys got to check out what self-driving is like in the Cybertruck. Definitely, video doesn't do it justice. Being in the car and experiencing it for the first time is a little bit scary and nerve-wracking, because you just don't know exactly what it's going to do, if it's going to make an error. But yeah, I hope this video is informative for you guys. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about the depreciation of Cybertrucks and Tesla in general. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, and more Cybertruck content to come, so be on the lookout.